welcome back to Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections. Welcome to a brand new Sacred Union Energy Update. We're going to be doing a quick check-in on the energies for the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, and the Union energies. Before we get into that reading, though, I do have some housekeeping items. I want to say thank you very much once again to everyone who participated in the April fundraising reading special. You helped us raise $400 to Animals in Need for a local animal charity organization. And you might have seen we submitted that over the weekend. You might have seen the Instagram story. But I also got an email from one of the volunteers who works at the organization, and with our in-person event that we did earlier in April, we actually raised a total of $600. So thank you for helping us help animals in need. That kind of work is so near and dear to my heart. It always has been. And so I think in the future we're going to be doing some more of those fundraiser reading specials for other organizations. And if you have an organization that is near and dear to your heart, I like working with the smaller organizations, but if you have an organization that's near and dear to your heart, feel free to send me an email. I'm going to be closed to readings until at least August, and all services until August, but I will have some flash sales going on throughout the summer, so make sure you sign up for our newsletter at susandawnspiritual.com so you don't miss those bookings. Those will have limited slots, and if you're signed up for our newsletter, then you'll be guaranteed to get one of those slots. Well, not guaranteed, but you'll be the first to know when they open up so you can claim one of those slots when I do them. Thinking we might have one maybe around the solstice, but I'm not quite sure. But we'll have some flash sales. In the meantime, I've been really busy in the behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't see, including the book. I have teased it a little bit, and we're going to be officially announcing it this month. The title and the cover, we're going to reveal that as well as how you can participate in its official launch and the official announcement. So stay tuned because I'm very excited. It is a culmination of all of our work that we've done here over the years. I've poured basically everything into it. So I am very excited to have that as just another resource for you guys, and just to have that shared with the world. So make sure that you are, again, staying tuned to all of our social media platforms and our newsletter as well. Okay, before we get into the actual reading, let's talk about the energies. The energies feel very peaceful. They feel very calm. If things come up, it feels like we are able to transmute it. It feels a lot different than it did a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, it felt like things were getting heavy again. Divine Feminines, you might have felt like you were questioning yourself, like you were doubting yourself. I always say, go back to the basics of the journey. We know what this journey is about. This journey is an energetic connection. It's about a spiritual connection first and foremost, and that's what your counterpart is going to be reminding you of. I had a couple of emails from clients who were really struggling. Don't ever hesitate to email me. I will either direct you to resources that I think can help, or I will, I might even, in some rare cases, open up to bookings, especially if you are a repeat client and part of our community. That's because I want you to have whatever it is that you need for this journey, because this journey is a difficult one. But go back to the basics. Go back to remembering that this is an energetic connection, and we have to accept what's happening in the physical, but also what is the physical trying to show you about yourself, about your inner work. That's what it's all about. It's not about your counterpart. If you're making it about your counterpart, then you're still in that chasing energy. Now, we're putting this into context of this journey, right? When it comes to an actual physical connection with somebody, when you're actually having an intimate relationship with somebody, then you are doing this together. You're both approaching your relationship and nurturing the relationship together. So that's where you're supporting each other. That's where you're honoring each other. That's when you're communicating with each other. That's where you're building that trust, building that intimacy, right? That's when you have that physical interaction. You're in communication. You're in a committed relationship. It's an intimate, committed relationship. Emotional intimacy is what I mean. So we're putting that into context. But if you're not experiencing that yet, or you're not experiencing that with a sacred partner or with a counterpart, then remember that it's an energetic connection. So what is it actually showing you? What is the lack showing you? For example, are you still in lack? Are you still in scarcity? Or are you in the union within yourself of feeling like I don't need anything or anyone? Now, again, we're putting this into context. That's what makes this journey so confusing, because we try to apply our old paradigm of the way that we think the world is and the way that we think relationship works to a very spiritual connection. So we have to put it into context, and that's where the balance is. It's not pushing everything away like I don't need anybody, I don't need anything. That's the other extreme of hyper independence, right? We're bringing it to a place where you are recognizing that you have everything within yourself. We're bringing it to a place of self-empowerment. We're bringing it to a place where you recognize that you have the tools and the resources within you, or you have the ability to find the tools and the resources for yourself. You have that ability. Whether your connection with God or because of your faith, you recognize that there is a sense of, I know I'll be okay, I know I'll be supported, I know that the universe is supporting me. That's what we're talking about here. So it's not the other extreme of hyper independence. I don't need anyone, I don't need anything. So you push everything away and you deny everything. And it's not the other extreme of codependency where you're leaning too much and chasing and reaching too much and putting pressure on anything. You're in this place of wholeness, you're in this place of balance within yourself. It's a place of peace, and it is a peace that you feel no matter what your circumstances are. You know that you are where you're meant to be. You know that you have love within you and around you. You know that you're supported with where you are in the present moment, and that is what brings peace. And if you're not there yet, that's your inner union. And if you're not there yet, then you will still be asked to look at what are those blocks. And I don't want to use the word blocks, but in the context of this journey, that's the language that we use. But what is still keeping you from yourself? What are you still seeking externally that you feel like you don't have within you? And when we're saying seeking externally, we're not talking about the material stuff, although our human egos tend to look at it from the human perspective, or from the material perspective. Oh, I don't have this amount of money, so I can't pay my bills, or I don't have this, so I can't go on vacation, or I don't have this, so I'm not in a relationship, or I'm not in a connection, or I don't have love. Well, you do have love. We just have to change your perspective. You do have support, you do have funds, and might not be the amount that you want or the amount that you think that you need, but keep bringing it back to the present. Do you have what do you have that is supporting you? And maybe it's not everything that you think it needs to be financially. Maybe it's not everything that you want, but the universe is always going to support you in the present moment with what you need right now. And you always have the tools and the resources, the opportunity for more. We just have to expand our thinking. That's what I'm trying to get out. It's just about shifting the perspective, which shifts the energy, which expands our thinking. There are an infinite number of solutions, but what happens is we get very caught up in the way that we think things are, because that's how we've been conditioned to respond. That's how we've been conditioned to view the world. That's how we've been conditioned to view relationships. But the more that we expand our thinking, look out of the box, think out of the box, we realize that there are an infinite number of solutions. There's an infinite number of opportunities. That's why we say open up to every possibility, open up to every probability. If the connection with your counterpart, for example, is not there, or if they are saying that they just want to be friends, or they're saying that they can't be in a relationship, we have to accept that, because that's their free will. That's their, we have to respect each other, right? You can't be continuing to force and push against that. That's where surrender comes in. But you can still hold the space for what you intuitively know within yourself. You don't have to act on that. You can hold that space within yourself. You can hold the energy, the spiritual connection within yourself. You can hold that intuitive knowing and be open to how the universe brings in your sacred union, how the universe brings in a counterpart for you, opening up to every possibility. I don't want to go deep into that today. These are piggybacking on previous teachings. So if you're new here, that might not make a lot of sense, but do feel free to go back through previous Sacred Union energy updates, previous teachings, even over on my sister channel, Susan Dawn Ascension Connections, where we go deeper. And if you want to have all of it, I have a Journey to Union video bundle that is available with over 40 videos. It's 16 hours of content. We're constantly adding to it as well, and you'll always have access to it with a one-time purchase. But it has all of these videos and teachings that have been edited and curated so that you have everything that you need for your journey to union. All of my teachings, all of everything, basically everything. So that can help you really get a grasp of what we're trying to say here. I say that because there's been a lot of doubt, a lot of insecurity, a lot of questioning because of what's being displayed within the physical. Don't look at the physical as evidence. Don't look at the physical as data. That's especially for divine feminines. You've been called on your journey specifically to trust what's in your heart intuitively. If it seems like it's counterintuitive, your physical world is counterintuitive to what you're feeling in yourself, in your heart, then that's where some balance still has to be had, within yourself. How can you accept your physical reality while just anchoring in to, okay, my physical reality might not be aligned yet. My physical reality might not have caught up to what I'm feeling intuitively, but that's where I'm just going to kind of ignore the physical reality. Doesn't mean acting on it. It just means, it doesn't mean sweeping anything under the rug. It means accepting it and saying, you know what, I can see that this is my physical reality right now, but I'm going to trust in what I'm feeling, and I'm going to know that that's what I'm creating from what I'm feeling inside myself, from the energy that I'm holding inside of myself. So that is where your union is. Your union is internal, and you've always been in union. Don't look at the physical as evidence for the lack of that, because that's still chasing, that's still energetically kind of pushing your union further and further away from you, because you are looking at the physical as if that's the only part of this connection that there is. So keep tuning into yourself. That's where your union is, first and foremost, and then it reflects in your physical reality. And that goes for everything in our world. If it's finances, if it's dreams and goals, you're shifting the energy by shifting your mindset, by shifting your perspective, by opening up to possibilities. You're not holding on so dear, so tightly to one vision that the universe. It's like if you have a dream, right? If you have a dream of, let's just say, something creative. If you have a dream to do something creative, and you have this has to be this way. I'll give you an anecdote. My whole life I've wanted to be a writer. Ever since I was very, very little, I wanted to write books. I went to school for writing. I wanted to get into the publishing business, but I ended up getting sick. My life took a different route, and I ended up indie publishing. I built my own publishing imprint in which I published my own books. If I had held really firm to this is the only way that I can write my books, this is the only way that I can publish my books, then I would have missed out on so many opportunities. By indie publishing, I had a lot of critical acclaim. I had a lot of speaking engagements. I was able to help a lot of people through my books, with my books, by having one-on-one interactions with them. So I had my version of success through the way that I ended up publishing, because I wasn't so fixed on it has to happen this way. If it doesn't happen this way, then it's not happening at all. I could have very much gotten into that mindset of, oh, this dream will never come true because it's not happening this way or it's not showing up this way. I had to kind of think outside of the box about, number one, what does success mean to me? And number two, what does this dream mean to me? Number three, how else can this dream come to fruition? And minute by minute by minute, or I should say step by step by step, I just allowed myself to follow my intuition. And my business, the way that I created it, it happened so fluidly. I didn't have any obstacles when it came to creating my business. In fact, when I created my business, I had people kind of fall into my lap who would help me as far as getting the business set up, as far as the back end legal aspects, as far as, finding my cover designers, finding, people who I could work with as mentors. the universe opened up with opportunities for me to support my dream. I just had to let go of the way that I thought it had to come into being. The same thing happens with everything in our lives. We just have to let go of the way that we think it's going to happen to allow for every potential and every possibility, because the universe really is trying to support us. And to that end, the universe really is trying to support our unions. We just have to get out of our own way. We just have to allow ourselves to release any of the old energy and open up to the new. And so look at what is being reflected to you in your current situation. If you're not at peace with your current situation, do the deep dives. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself those hard questions. Be radically honest with yourself. What is actually bringing up anxieties for you? What is actually pushing you into a feeling of lack or scarcity, or like this is never going to happen? What is it that is actually fearful? Especially if it's something from the past. We have to allow ourselves to release the past version of ourselves and our counterparts and the relationship as it was in order to bring about new beginnings. So really allow yourself to look at what is being reflected and do those deep dives, because it's really trying to show you more about yourself. This is a journey of soul growth. First and foremost, this is a journey of soul growth, and your soul is trying to expand beyond what you think you knew, beyond what you thought the journey was. Even that's what breaking free from the twin flame matrix is. It doesn't mean that you are not a twin flame. It doesn't mean that you are not having your sacred union. If you've been on catalyzed to this path, then you likely are in sacred union, or you have a sacred union, or you have a counterpart. Right? If you were catalyzed to this journey, if it makes sense to you, if you feel it in the core of your soul, there's a reason for it. There's a reason why you were guided to the term twin flame. There's a reason why you were guided to the term ascension. There is a reason why you feel that sacred union energy within you. But we have to allow ourselves to release all of the expectation, all of the attachment to specific scenarios, and allow ourselves to open up again to the magical unfolding that this journey truly is. And when you are in a place of peace, when you are in a place of really being present with yourself, when you are in a place of this embodiment, then your whole life becomes a magical unfolding, not just your relationship with your counterpart. Your whole life becomes a magical unfolding. So, check out the previous videos if you want additional support. If you're struggling with something specifically, let me know, and I can help point you to some specific videos that we've done in the past that might be of help, or you can purchase the Journey to Union video bundle. So, the energies now feel a little bit lighter, actually a lot lighter than they had in the past. Again, it feels very peaceful. You might actually feel like you're in a little bit of a void, where and it's a strange feeling. It's not a void in the past where it's like you're not thinking about your counterpart, or your counterpart isn't present. The way that I'm feeling this is, it's like inner union. It's just anchored in. It feels like just a natural part of you. It feels like peace. It feels like presence in every single moment. And anytime that I'm out of that peace or out of that presence, I can feel it now. I can feel it in my body. I can see it in the world around me. And it's a reminder for me to get back into that state of being. And it's interesting because it just feels very naturally. My counterpart just feels very naturally like a part of me. I was going for a drive today, and just him popping in my mind, just random telepathy happening. But it wasn't like he was a focus like he usually is on my drives. Usually when I go on my drives, it's like meditation, right? It wasn't like that at all. It was just, a natural embodiment, a natural telepathy. I've been very kind of busy doing background work, with regards to the book, or with regards to just other programs I'm creating. And so that's where my mental energy is. That's where my mind is. And he's just still just very present, not in a very vivid way, not in a way that's distracting, just in a very loving, supportive way, just as a natural part of me. And every so often I'll feel this sense of telepathy, a word or a phrase pop in that I know, oh, that's him. Oh, that's okay. What is it that you want to communicate? So it's a very interesting energy. This embodiment of the inner union is a very different energy than we might have experienced the void, because it's not a void in that we're not feeling their energy at all. It's a void, and it feels more like an embodiment. It feels more like they're always with you, in the background, on the periphery. It's almost like, here's what it feels like. This is what they're showing me. They're showing me a couple sitting in a living room, and one might be reading a book, another one might be playing a video game or watching TV or something like that, but you're still present with each other. That's what it feels like. You're still doing your own thing, but you're still present with each other. You're still engaged with each other. You're still there with each other, and not in a antisocial way. You might, the person reading the book might show them a line in the book, and you'll share a moment together, or somebody watching TV might point something out and you'll share that moment together. Like, you're still there together, but you're also very independently doing your own thing. And that's where it feels like we are right now. It very much feels like an individual kind of energy. That's where it might feel like a little bit of a void, but you're still there. You're still part of each other's energy. And I feel like that's a divine purpose. There's a divine reasoning behind that. I feel like divine feminine, you're meant to be focused on your life, on whatever it is that you are creating, on whatever it is that you are doing, whatever it is that you're guided to do. Your counterpart's still part of that, it's still part of you, but you're focused on your life, and especially your material world, divine feminines. Divine masculine, I feel like, is going through a huge, I'm hearing the word upgrade. Um, I had channeled a song a couple of days ago. I woke up with this song in my consciousness. And this is a song I haven't heard since like my college days. And I actually didn't even know that I knew this song until I um, did a search for it and played it. And I actually thought it was something like Breaking Benjamin or something, but it's this artist called Zed. And the song is called Clarity. And the the phrase that I heard when I woke up is, "Why are you my clarity?" If our love's something, why are you my clarity? Like, I was singing the song, but again, I wasn't quite clear on the lyrics. That's how usually it is. It's like a piece of the puzzle that I have to figure out. That's how I know it's like a music download versus like an earworm song. A song that I've been listening to that gets stuck in my mind. This came out of nowhere, and again, I didn't even know that this was something that I knew. I didn't even know that this was a song that I knew. It harkens back to my college days. I thought it was Breaking Benjamin. It's this artist that it's yeah. I didn't even know this artist was an artist. But it's the song is, well, I'm going to read some of the lyrics. "'Cause you are the piece of me I wish I didn't need, chasing relentlessly, still fight and I don't know why. If our love is tragedy, why are you my remedy? If our love's insanity, why are you my clarity? 'Cause you are the piece of me I wish I didn't need, chasing relentlessly, still fight and I don't know why. Um, Don't speak as I try to leave, because we both know what we'll choose. If you pull, then I'll push too deep and I'll fall right back to you." This really has the energy of the runner chaser. And I feel like what's happening is we've been channeling enlightenment for the divine masculine over the past couple of months. And I feel like there's this huge influx of illumination that's coming in for them. I feel like divine feminines, while you're kind of doing your own thing, I feel like the divine masculines are really going back over the journey in their own mind, trying to put the pieces of this puzzle together. How is it that I actually feel? What is it that we actually experience together? um, what was this runner chaser dynamic? Now, they might not have the words for that, but it does feel like there is this illumination, this clarity that they're gaining about the connection and what the connection is to them. And they might still be trying to, in their ego mind, as they're going through an ego dissolution, they might be going through this own push and pull within themselves. But as we channeled in the last reading, a very powerful reading, the last reading, what it feels like is they're overcoming that. They're overcoming that battle of the mind and the heart. There's some kind of victory that is coming through. Um, Remember, this could be your own inner divine masculine as well. If you haven't yet anchored into the or healed or cleared out your inner masculine energies. This could be resonating for your inner masculine as well, even if you are the core divine feminine. So that's what the inner union is, right? You have to clear both the feminine and the masculine energies, balance both the masculine and the feminine. And that means anchoring into the masculine energy within you, divine feminine, so that you feel that sense of presence, you feel that sense of stability, you feel that sense of security within yourself, so that you're not reaching outside of yourself for any of that. You're not looking to your external masculine for that safety, for that security, for that presence. You're finding that first within yourself. Now, again, we're putting this into context. When you have a physical relationship with somebody, an intimate, romantic physical relationship with somebody, yes, together you provide that safety, security, and presence with each other. So, again, we're not denying any of that. It's not saying, oh, this is my inner masculine. I have to be safe, secure, and present within myself, so I can't have that in my other interactions. Not at all. We have intimate relationships with people, not just your counterpart, but with your friendships, with your family. Like, we're meant to feel that safety, stability, and security with all of our intimate relationships. That's why they're our intimate relationships, right? That's why they're a soul family. That's why they're soulmates. That's why they're our friends. That's why they're our family. It's because we feel that sense of safety and security, but we have to anchor that into ourselves first. And that really shifts the dynamics to really anchor into that safety and security within the connection as well. Does that make sense? So it's not that you're denying that support or that security with other people. That's a vital part of physical relationship, but it's about finding that within yourself, discovering that within yourself, rather than turning to other people for that. The more that we feel that sense of security within ourselves, the more we can build and trust in those intimate relationships with others. If you don't have that sense of security or stability or presence within yourself, which is your inner masculine energy, that will likely be lacking in your connections with others. And that's what your counterpart is trying to show you. Your counterpart is trying to show you that you have that within yourself. So again, we do go deeper into that in previous readings and teachings. I don't want to go into that deeply today, but I feel like the masculine is figuring this out. I feel like the masculine is getting a lot of clarity. And the phrase here, the lyrics, "Why are you my remedy?" I feel like they're acknowledging the divine feminine. And again, we channeled that in the previous reading. I feel like they're recognizing the divine feminine. It's like this feeling of we're better together. I know that we've been better together. I'm just feeling the sense of nostalgia from the divine masculine. And again, this is picking back up on the previous reading. So that previous reading is still very active in this energy. I almost didn't want to even do a reading tonight because that previous energy is still active. It's a process that the masculine is going through. But I just wanted to do a little bit of a check-in, especially with this channeling. But that's what it feels like. It feels like the masculine is really beginning to understand where they themselves were pushing away the connection, where they themselves were pushing away love. Because you've been realizing this, divine feminine, you've been healing those wounds within yourself. Now it's your masculine's turn to come to that same level of awareness that yes, you're better together. Yes, you create together. Yes, you build together. Yes, you manifest together. Yes, you are more love together. It's more love, not less. More love, not less. And divine feminines, I know you're probably saying, oh, but it's so frustrating because I understand this. Why can't my counterpart understand this? But understand this in the context of the journey. We have to understand and look at the big picture of the journey. Your counterpart is holding space or has been holding space for your healing. And to understand what it takes for them to do that, to hold that space for them so that you can go through your journey home to yourself, that then initiates their journey home to their selves, which we have to allow. You have to allow them their journey. If you really want your counterpart to be your counterpart, if you really want them to be your equal, if you really want them to be that divine masculine emperor energy to your empress energy, then you have to allow them the space to go through their journey and hold that space for them to go through their journey. Remember when I said holding that space before about that inner union, holding that peace, holding that presence? That's you holding the space for your masculine. You're not seeking anything outside of yourself. You're just holding the space for them to go through their journey as well. So I feel like the masculine is really reflecting on their experiences in the whole of their life, but especially their experiences with you. I feel like you've been on their mind. I feel like they have been kind of going over conversations, going over memories that you might have shared together. There's a lot of warmth here, and where they might have really pushed that away, where there was a lot of anger, where there was a lot of projection, a lot of fighting against this, I feel like they're embracing their memories. They're embracing the connection that you used to have. And I feel like that is actually building up to uh, opening up their hearts, or they're having a heart expansion and building up to more of a recognition of what this connection means, what you mean. It just feels like there's a lot of forward momentum going on here. Um, so I feel like there's a healing that's coming through here, that's breaking open any of the wounds that might have been between you guys, any of the blocks that might have come between you guys. That's what this journey is. This journey is just clearing any block to love. And it seems very counterintuitive again, because this journey is a paradox. It's like, well, wait a minute, we're clearing any blocks to love, but there are all these blocks in the way of our connection. But we have to shift our perspective around this journey. Your connection is just reflecting where the blocks are. Your journey, your counterpart is just reflecting or showing you where the wounds are, where the holes are, where the blind spots are. That's where it's your job to do that inner work. So, why are you my remedy? Why are you my clarity? They're having clarity on what you mean to them, what you've always meant to them, and most importantly, the unconditional love that exists within this connection. They're beginning to understand this connection. Now, they might not have the words that you do for the journey. Some might. Some might know what twin flames are. Some might know about conscious connections. Some might just have the feeling that this is something bigger than any relationship they've ever known. That's part of their process as well. So don't rush anything, don't force anything. Especially for those of you who are coming into communication or contact with your counterpart, I really recommend the channeling reunion and reconciliation. That will have a lot of guidance for you as far as how to navigate your reunions, reconciliations, how to navigate contact with your counterpart. Take it one step at a time. You're building again. It's like you're starting from scratch, but with a new level of consciousness. It's like you're meeting for the first time, but you have a history. It's like you're meeting from the first time, but you have a new level of consciousness. And so don't fear the separation either. If you come together and then it feels like you're going into separation again, don't fear the separation. Separation is just an opportunity for you to recalibrate your energies, for you to understand more about yourself, and the separation cycles would be fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer. Okay? All right. So, cannot wait for my book to come out. It's going to be everything. It's going to be everything that you need in one place. So in the future, I'll just be referring you to that. But again, stay tuned for the title cover reveal, and stay tuned for how you can get a kind of, how do I say this? How you can be part of, the launch. All right. We're going to find out what is going on with this new moon. New moon, I just got like a burst of energy in my third eye. It definitely feels like some kind of clarity, more clarity coming through, especially for the divine masculines. Might be for you divine feminines as well, especially if you're working within your divine masculine energy, if that's what you're working on right now. And I want to say this too, if that's resonating with you, if what we've channeled in the beginning is resonating with you, but you find that you're struggling, check on the last 6 months of readings, especially from, I'm going to say August, September 2023 onward. Begin there, because that's this energy of anchoring in your masculine energy. That's this energy of anchoring in your inner union. That's this energy of coming into that sacred embodiment. So if you're new to the channel, that's where you can start. All right, what's going on for the divine masculine, please? Current energy for the divine masculine. I think this is a super new moon as well. so even more powerful energy. And we just had the 5-5 portal. Yeah, the masculine. Many of you might be actually working on your masculine energy. So the masculine might not just resonate for your counterpart, but it might resonate for your inner masculine as well. And always take these readings for your inner masculine, your inner feminine, and for the global collective masculine feminine energies as well. So we have the masculine energy, and there's something about his nakedness here. There's something about the rawness here, and there's a lot of energy that's coming through here. I'm just seeing so much symbolically. There's a portal. Oh my gosh, I never noticed that. Here in the background, there it looks like a boy and a girl holding hands. I don't know if you guys can see that. There in the background, you guys can maybe see a little bit of a shadow here. It's hard to see it on the screen, but there's a boy and a girl that's holding hands. I never noticed that before, but that's what this feels like. This feels like recognition of the connection, recognition of what you mean to each other. And that's what I feel like. It's better together, wanting to hold each other's hand now through this next phase of your life, wanting to hold each other's hands through this next cycle. And I feel like they want to go through this portal, and even this new moon might actually be a huge portal for the divine masculine. Asking them to be raw, asking them to be vulnerable, asking them to be intimate, whether with you or with themselves, asking them to bare their heart, bare their soul, bare their emotions, bare themselves, asking them to expand in their heart. Again, this could be a very internal process, or you might actually be experiencing this with your counterpart if this is what your divine masculine is going through right now. Or if you're at that stage, and you'll know what feels right for you. You'll know what message is right for you by where you are in your journey with your counterpart, or what you're intuitively connecting with. But this could be also what they're experiencing inwardly. I'm gonna continue with the divine masculine for a minute. Yeah, okay, we're gonna use this one. Tell me more about the divine masculine with this current energy, please. Tell me more about the divine masculine with this current energy. Three of Wands, yeah. This Three of Wands energy is one of breakthrough, one of just on the horizon, one of calling it in. But it's, when I say calling it in, it doesn't feel like a physical manifestation. It feels like an energetic breakthrough. And again, this portal energy that they're walking through, and that portal energy is clarity. That portal energy is realization. That portal energy is illumination. And what are they illuminating? They're illuminating the connection, how they feel about you, how they feel about the connection. They just pointed me to the 4 and 2 comes down to a 6, which is the 6 of Cups energy. And that's what these figures in the background remind me of too, the 6 of Cups. And the 6 of Cups is nostalgia, it's memories, it's past life energy, it's even this childhood connection, this childhood love. When I say childhood, I mean it's like your inner child connecting with each other, the soul of each other. It's a very innocent kind of energy, and I feel like after all of the soul sludge, after everything you've been through, after all of the karma that you've been clearing together, that's what this journey is about. It's about coming back to that innocent love, unconditional love that you have for each other, that you always saw in each other. And I feel like the divine masculine, what I'm actually hearing is a very specific message, that they're finally understanding everything that you've been saying. They're finally understanding everything that you've been saying. Yeah, so the 3 of Wands, the Star, they're wanting new, wishing for new. I was almost like wishing for a fresh start, wishing to start over, from a place of balance. A lot of these divine masculines didn't believe that this kind of love was possible. You might have mirrored that energy. You might have mirrored that same fear, that same block. These divine masculines did not believe that this kind of relationship was possible, that this kind of love was possible. They were always waiting for the other shoe to drop. A lot of that came from their past experiences that really did a number on their self-worth. They didn't see themselves as worthy. You were like a wish. You were like a shining star for them. They might have actually even put you on a pedestal, is what I'm seeing. But I feel like they are now seeing that they are worthy. They have to work at it, but they are worthy at being your partner. You've always seen them as worthy. You've always seen them as the partner. but they never saw that within themselves. And now it's like, yeah, I want to take action. I want to work on myself so that I can feel within myself that I'm worthy of being your partner. So rather than just being passive, rather than not doing anything for the connection, I feel like they're wanting to develop themselves. I feel like they're wanting to work on themselves, to work at it, to feel like they themselves are worthy. This is not coming from something external. This is not coming from they believe that you think they're not worthy of you. It's all coming from themselves. They didn't think that they were worthy of you. You always saw them as they are. You always saw them as the best version of them. You always saw their soul, but they were not able to see that. And that came down to their own wounding. So I feel like they're balancing this out, and you're still like a shining star. You're still a guiding light for them. And now I feel like they're willing to put in the work to almost like prove that to themselves, is what I'm getting. To prove it to themselves. It's like you're, I think because they've seen so much of your growth, now it feels like they're wanting to prove it to themselves that they're worthy. Where they might have shut themselves down to that in the past because they were so kind of stuck in their shadow. They were afraid of facing themselves. They were afraid of looking at their worth issues, looking at their wounds. Now it's like they really want to work on it. Now they want to prove it to themselves and to you, but it's not less about you and more about themselves. I have what it takes. I have what it takes to be the person that I know my counterpart believes me to be, the person that my divine feminine has always seen me to be. I know I have what it takes now. They're really going through an ascension. They're going through their ascension. Three of Pentacles, yeah. Three of Pentacles for me is this energy of collaboration, working together. If you've been with me for a long time, you know that was my original union card, recognizing there is no separation. And I feel like that's what they want. They want to cooperate. They want to collaborate. They want to work with you. We're better together. We're better together, and I know that we're better together. That's what I just keep hearing from the masculine. And I feel like now he wants to be able to hold that container of the connection. He wants to be able to have the capacity to be there for the connection where he might not have been emotionally or otherwise able to hold the energy of the connection. Now he's working himself to be able to do that. What else do we need to know about the divine masculine at this time? What else do we need to know about the divine masculine at this time? What else do we need to know about the divine masculine at this time? Too many. What else do we need to know about the divine masculine? Five of Pentacles. Yeah. So, okay. Oh, and Judgment. Yeah, and Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so we've been getting these. Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Ace of Swords. There's that clarity. Knight of Cups. Seven of Pentacles. It's a process, so allow it to unfold. Okay, so let me take this one by one. So the Five of Pentacles. You see how this home is all lit up? It's like divine feminine. You've left the light on. That's the heart light in yourself. That's the light within your heart space that you've kept on. That's you holding space. That's your inner union where you've come into balance within yourself. You're not seeking anything outside of yourself. You're not seeking anything from the connection. You're allowing your journey to unfold. There's this peace, there's this presence about you, this embodiment about you, and you're holding space. It doesn't mean that your life is on hold. It doesn't mean that you're waiting. It doesn't mean that you're pushing. You're not forcing. You're not trying to control anything. You're just in the state of like divine feminine surrender. And surrender does not mean passivity, because what you're actually doing is you're still taking action. It's your inner masculine based on your feminine's intuition and guidance for your physical world, for your path, for your material life. So it's not like you're sitting back and just passively waiting. That's not what surrender means. Surrender doesn't mean submission. Surrender just means you're letting your journey unfold in a beautiful, divine way, in the way that it wants to, in the way that it even needs to. And so your heart light is on. You're holding that space for the divine masculine, open to every potential and every possibility. You're trusting the divine masculine essentially to come home. But you're not affixed to when or how or where or who or what. You're not, or how. Did I say that already? You're not affixed to any specificity. You're not affixed to any expectation. You're just allowing. It's like, yeah, the light's on. The light's on. And this, I feel like, is the divine masculine that is coming in from the cold, having gone through a journey, coming in from the cold. He's not quite at the doorstep yet, or the doorstep yet. He's not quite there. He's still on the path, but that's part of his process. He's getting there. And that's this energy. It's judgment. The judgment card for me is a second chance. It's this, especially with the Wheel of Fortune, it's this new beginning, a chance to rise, a chance to become something new. It's the call to rise, right? A call to shift your destiny, to change your destiny. And that's exactly what the divine masculine is doing. They're changing their destiny. I have worth now. I'm going to prove it to myself. I'm going to prove it to the world. And not in an egoic challenge to the world. Oh, let me prove it to the world how much worth I have. Like, do you see the difference in the energy? It's not like coming from a force. It's not coming from a place of control. It's coming from a place of, I want to be better within myself. I want to be the person that I always knew I could be, but that maybe life got the better of me at times. Maybe I lost my belief in myself. Maybe I didn't always feel like I had the strength or the courage. But I want to be the person that my divine feminine has always seen in me, but that I couldn't see in myself, and that I tried to push away because it was too painful to see. It was too painful to see because they were stuck in that lack of worth. They were stuck in that low self-esteem. They were stuck in the shadows. So it was so painful to see their light. And now they're facing themselves. They've gone through dark nights. They've gone through self-reflections. They've gone through radical honesty. And they're changing their destiny because of it. They're recognizing that power does not come from control. It doesn't come from controlling other people. It doesn't come from controlling your environment. It doesn't come from controlling external situations. Power comes from your self-empowerment, from your connection to yourself, knowing yourself, loving yourself, honoring yourself. And as you do that, you're able to love, honor everything and everyone around you, especially who you are within. And that's how they're changing their destiny. They're changing their energy. They're changing their perspective. They're changing themselves. All right, let's see what's going on for the divine feminine. All right, divine feminine. What do we need to know for you, please? We have protection. Yeah, this kind of feels like what we're in right now. That's kind of like the void energy you might be feeling. It just feels like whatever the divine masculine might be going through, you're just kind of holding the space for it, but you're not affected by it. You're loving and sending love unconditionally. You're sending support unconditionally, but it's not in the way that it was before. It just is. You're just allowing yourself to be. You're in a state of being divine feminine. For some, you might actually be nurturing yourself, nourishing yourself. You might be resting. You might be in a little bit of it might feel like a little bit of a hermit energy, a little bit of a cocoon. But you're just focused on you. You're focused on what it is that you're doing. What is it that lights you up? What are you passionate about? I have just been in the background doing work on my business, learning. I've been reading a lot. I've been learning a lot. I've been taking classes. I've been creating products and projects and just kind of in my own little hermit energy, my own little hobbit hole is what I like to call it. I'm still active. I'm still out in the world. I still go to my hockey games. I still have been socializing with friends. But there's still like a little bit of a internal process that's going on. It's like you're filling up your own cup, but it doesn't feel empty. That's the difference. You're continuing to fill up, but that's what happens, divine feminine. That's what they're bringing me. Before, you might have felt like you were empty and you were constantly going from an empty cup, giving from an empty cup, and that was making you feel really drained. That's not this energy anymore, especially as you enter this inner union. It's like your capacity gets bigger. Your energetic capacity expands. So while you're filling up, you're not losing anything from filling up. Like it's like the coffer gets bigger. So you might have only been able to hold a little bit And then maybe it was drained by projects or relationships or dynamics or whatever it was. But now it's like you're not draining anything because you're not abandoning anymore. You're not neglecting anymore. You're not rejecting yourself anymore. So there's nothing to lose. You're not emptying out what's in the cup, but you're still filling up. Well, as you're filling up yourself, it's not spilling over. Your capacity is getting bigger to hold more. The coffers are getting bigger to hold more. And it's just like overflow. Not overflow as in spilling out, but just like it just feels like more energy, more feeling more peace, feeling more joy, feeling more love, right? So it's not like you're losing anything by getting more. It's not like you're emptying out the cup so that you can fill up. What the container, your container gets bigger so that you can bring in more joy, more life, more abundance, more peace. That's what this feels like. It feels like we're in like a internal process of that. So whatever it is that you're doing, just keep knowing that it's being guided. And that's what this bird here represents to me. It's like the universe kind of guiding you through this continued process of more for you. It just feels so abundant. It feels so more, like so much more. I'm going to get a different deck here. I'm going to use this one. What do we need to know for the Divine Feminine? What do we need to know for the Divine Feminine? What do we need to know? The Tower. This Tower is actually interesting. It feels like a level up. It doesn't feel like a breakdown. Some of you, depending on where you are in the journey, it might feel like a breakdown, but it's a leveling up. They're reminding me of what I experienced maybe 2 weeks ago, and I shared it in the recent Sacred Union Energy Update, where in the course of 1 week, I had a medical procedure that produced a lot of medical anxiety because I have a lot of medical trauma from my past experience with illness. In the same week, I also experienced a lot of grief that was coming up during one of my sessions that was being released, old grief that was coming up to be acknowledged and witnessed and then released, as well as new grief because I lost a friend and mentor in the publishing industry. Somebody who meant a lot to me, and her passing was very unexpected. So that all happened in the course of the week. But what I found was that I allowed myself to feel whatever it was that I was feeling, but underneath any of that, I still felt a sense of peace. I still found a sense of calm. When I was going through the medical procedure, I had a lot of medical anxiety, but my body wasn't shaking. I didn't have my nervous system wasn't in disarray as it would have been in the past. I wasn't breaking down. I wasn't crying. I kept feeling anchored into the peace, like, okay, this is a little bit anxiety inducing, as anything like this would be, but you're okay. You're safe. You're protected. You're supported. Like I felt anchored into my faith in the universe. And with regards to the grief of my friend's my friend's passing, my friend's loss, again, I felt this sense of peace. Like, yes, it's so sad for our community that we lost this brilliant light, this mentor for all of us, and this beautiful, spirit. But I also anchored into this knowing of the legacy that she left and all the good that she did, and how she was a champion for writers, and how she just how grateful I was to have known her and have had the opportunity to work with her and know her. And it just felt like peace. It just felt like gratitude. And that peace and that gratitude overcame any of the grief that I was feeling. I still allowed myself to feel the grief because I'm human. And grief is a human emotion. It's a human experience because you're missing somebody that's not on this planet anymore, that once, was very physically active, is not on this planet. And even, doing what I do in mediumship that I do, I can know that somebody's on the other side in spirit and still miss them in our physical presence. That's the balance of being human and being spiritually in tune. That's what we're doing. We're bringing the spiritual into our human existence so that we're not denying either the spiritual or the human. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you need to feel. That's your human aspect. But we don't get caught up in that. We don't get caught there. We don't get trapped there. The gratitude, the love, the peace, the faith, that becomes more, that becomes greater. And so once I allowed myself to witness those emotions and work through what it was that I was feeling over the course of several days, I just anchored more into that feeling. And what I found was that my own capacity grew. What I found was that I was actually leveling up energetically, that it was actually whatever it was that I experienced that week was actually a breakthrough. That's what this energy feels like, and you can apply that to your own life. If you're going through something as like a shakeup, if you're going through a tower moment, if you're going through something that feels heavy or challenging, keep using the tools. Go back to the basics. Keep using the tools and the resources that you have on this journey. And if you're struggling, reach out to community, reach out to trusted resources, trusted counselors or therapists or mentors or family, soul family. You have that support, but you also have the tools and the resources. And allowing yourself to turn to those tools and those resources that you've learned on this ascension journey is what will get you through it. And that's the breakthrough. That's the leveling up. That's what this feels like. It doesn't feel like a breakdown. It feels like a breakthrough. It feels like a leveling up. It might just be like an initiation into the next level. So let's see what else comes through for the Divine Feminine, please. Yeah, especially when it comes to your counterpart connections, especially if you are experiencing something that is counterintuitive to what you are feeling within yourself. This is an opportunity for you to go back to the basics of everything you know about this journey, to go back to the energetics, to return to yourself rather than focusing on the external world. Return to yourself. This is you taking control of yourself and of your journey. You're not helpless to this journey. You're not powerless to this journey. You're not helpless or powerless to this connection. I'm getting drawn to the fact that the Lover's card is traditionally a card that can mean choices. Now, it can mean choices between two people, but what I'm actually getting is you choosing yourself. Are you going to focus on the external, or are you going to bring that energy within yourself and choose yourself? That's what your breakthrough is. That's what your leveling up is. That's what the Chariot is representing. It's representing you in balance with yourself. It's representing you being in charge of your own destiny, in charge of where it is that you're going. Again, you're not helpless to this journey. You're not powerless to this journey. That's what any kind of tower moments are actually trying to show you. Where you still feel helpless, where you still feel powerless, that's your point of surrender. That's the shadow that you need to look at. So don't be afraid to dive deeper. Okay? All right, yep. The Strength card. Look at all these major arcanas. This is a major leveling up for you. This is a major breaking through point. What am I trying to say? This is a major portal for you. You are having a massive breakthrough. That's the word, breakthrough. You are recognizing the strength and the courage within yourself. And what you're actually doing, they're saying, is you're taming that ego. Feeling helpless, feeling powerless, that's all the ego. That's all the ego getting trapped in illusions. And what is an illusion? Illusion is a past pattern that is replaying, right? And that's where you have to do the shadow work. Go a little bit deeper. Go one level more. What is it trying to show you? What belief or what program is still running in the background, right? So with the Strength card, you're taming that ego and recognizing the power of your very soul to overcome, to direct your destiny, to be in balance with yourself. And directing your destiny is an interesting phrase because we're getting that for both the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. So you can take this reading for both. That's your inner union as well. That's your inner balance. The mirroring that happens is the balance between the two. What does the Divine Feminine need to know? What else does the Divine Feminine need to know? What else does the Divine Feminine need to know? That's way too much. I did see the Three of Cups. I saw the Ace of Cups. Oh my gosh. Look at all of these every single card is a major arcana. Every single card. Major arcanas are the fated events. They are let's put it into perspective. I teach this in my tarot and translation course. The minor arcana are the free will stuff, right? It's like the major arcana is like this is going to happen. This is charted in your destiny. But the minor arcana are where you have some free will as far as little decisions that you make, right? So, for example, this journey is a major arcana for you, right? But how you approach this journey, how you surrender to this journey or resist this journey, that's the minor arcana. That's going to be your free will. That's going to be your choice, right? But the major arcana is, hey, you were activated to ascension. You were activated through a catalyst partner. That was charted for you. But how you go through the journey is your free will. That's the minor stuff. So the fact that this is all major arcana indicates that this is a major breakthrough. This is a major leveling up. This is a major cycle that you're experiencing right now. This is a major forward momentum. So you're where you're meant to be. Going back to this cocoon kind of energy, going back to this void, it's not a coincidence. Don't rush anything. Don't force anything. Be where you feel you need to be. Trust your intuition. Anchor into your inner masculine energy. Feel the masculine within your heart space. The Temperance card, also a union card for me. It's the balance between the two. The balance, the harmony, I don't have another word for it, harmony between the two. If you're not experiencing partnership within your physical reality, with your counterpart, then just keep tuned into the energy within yourself. Keep tuned into the love. Keep tuned into what it is that you're experiencing internally, and keep that sacred is also a message that's been coming forth. Keep that sacred, especially now. Keep that sacred to yourself. Obviously, you can, if you have community, if you have soul family around you that are on a similar journey, you can work through stuff with them. But this is a really critical time. It is a time of union. So keep that energy to yourself, within yourself. All right, tell me more about the union energy. What do we need to know for the union energy between the masculine and the feminine? Patience. Everybody's favorite word. Yeah, in the bottom of the deck we have surrender. I'm also getting drawn to this focus. And this butterfly on the third eye indicates transformation. Within perspective, transformation within that third eye sight, that's the illumination, that's the clarity. This very much feels like the divine masculine. And you see how she is kind of emerging in the water? She's half in the water, half out of the water, but there's this like bubble around her. This feels like this is what the masculine is going through. They're going through their ascension. They're going through the process right now, and they're kind of in between. That's what we've been channeling too. They're kind of in a transition period as part of this process. They're kind of in between, but there's a transformation that's happening with regards to illumination, with regards to their perspective, with regards to understanding themselves and the connection. Have patience and allow yourself to surrender. You're walking through, and you have been walking through, but remember, it's a process. We're not meant to rush this. It's all a process. So you're walking through this doorway to the new. We're going to keep channeling because I keep feeling June as pivotal energy for unions moving into September. So over the next 6 months, it feels like huge energy for unions, physical unions, reunions, reconciliations. Again, check out the reunion reconciliation channeling, and also check out the soulmate path channeling. That might give you some clarity around what you might be experiencing leading up to reunion, leading up to reconciliation. That might give you some understanding and clarity of your journey as well. I'll put all the links in the description box, in the links of interest. And if you have any additional requests for guidance, then just drop a comment in the comments below, and we will explore that further in new readings coming up. I am sending you so much love, so much light, and we'll see you next time.